Let's take a look at some of my favorite pieces of backpacking and hiking gear. This is by no means a comprehensive packing list, although I will be going over that in just a couple weeks. These are just some of my favorite pieces of gear, all the way from necessities to novelties and just really little things that whenever I'm out, I think, man, I'm glad I had this specific version of this thing. I'll put timestamps in case you want to jump around or return to any of the specific categories, and I will say that each of these things are items that I've purchased for myself. If this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Heather, and I share content on homesteading, hunting, backpacking, and all of my other outdoor hobbies, shed hunting, geocaching, and lots more. With that being said, let's get started. The first category is necessities. These are things that you're gonna need some version of if you're out hiking or backpacking. I always bring the jet boil. I know it's a little bit heavier, but the extra weight is so worth it because it boils so fast. Mine is actually like the coffee version, so it came with a French press, which I don't use that often, but it is nice to have. It has the tells you when it boils. This gets orange all the way up, and that's when you know the water's boiling. And everything that you need fits, like it's just this little pod. So I keep my lighter, fuel canister, and then the stove itself. I will say that if you go with this and it has the auto lighter, I wouldn't put all of your faith in it, but you should be carrying a lighter anyway. I am obsessed with these long spoons, so you can scoop down, and they're like a silicone, and so you can really, scrounge and scrape the sides of the bag, which is super nice. I like the metal ones too, but I just love these. We have 3 of them. For filtering water, we use the Katadyn. I'm gonna do actually a comparison between this style and the pump style. That's hopefully gonna come out next week, so watch for that. The pump style is faster, but this one still works like really, really good. I always take this and you're just, you hook it up and you pump into an Nalgene or whatever water container you have. Now, I used to use the stuffable pillows because it seemed like it saved a lot of space, or like kind of was a 2-for-1. But then I invested in this Trekology blow-up pillow. And this thing is indestructible. I've used it on like every trip. I also can take it like on flights. So it takes 3 breaths of air to fill up. It just tucks. I have a mummy bag, and it kind of nests up in the head area of it so it doesn't slide around. It does have little non-slip button things there, and that helps too. And so much better than the stuffable ones. The stuffable ones were just always really lumpy to me, and I always ended up with my head on the ground anyway as I like shimmied through whatever clothes were stuffed in there. And it's got a little smiley face. I won't go too deep into clothing, but I do want to mention when I'm hiking, wear merino wool shirts. And this is a First Light t-shirt, and I use the First Light t-shirts, tank tops, and they have long sleeve quarter zips. And that's pretty much the only shirts that I wear when I'm hiking. Don't stink, they dry really quickly, and they're super comfortable. And then while we're talking about clothing, I was so unsure if I could pull off a hat like this. One of my favorite pieces of gear, and it's a Tilly hat. And I think it's super cute. I've worn it in like the craziest, windiest, rainiest, snowiest conditions, and the way it tightens around your head, I wish I knew how fast the wind was going on some of those days, but it locks on, and I love that. It keeps rain out of your face, it keeps sun out of your face. It's got venting here, so that's really great when it's hot. And Tilly has insane warranty. Guaranteed for life, first of all, but they also have an if you lose it or it's stolen replacement promise, which is crazy. So if this were to have blown off in the wind or someone stole it, they would give me a new one. And I got this at REI, but you can get them on Amazon from their website. You can get them all over the place. And there's tons of different styles. I really like this classic hiker style. Next up is my Garmin InReach Mini. I feel so much more confident when I have this with me. Not only do you feel so much safer because you have help if you need it, but if you're hiking with people who also have these, you can communicate between these devices. You can also hook it up to your phone, and you can send texts out depending on the plan that you have. I get by an annual plan, and you can send out varying amounts of waypoints or texts to any phone number or to other Garmin's. And it's so just convenient to clip. I clip it usually to my backpack strap, just so it's super accessible. We even keep it if I'm not hiking, I usually have it in my car because we drive in a lot of places without service. It's just so comforting to know that you have this, little safety net. And it's for sure an investment, but it's just so worth it. I think that wraps up the necessities. So next up is the nice to have items. Really like having a mini towel with me, and I kind of alternate between these two options, both REI brand. If you want to, you know, you're out for a while and you want to clean up a little bit, these dry super quick. There's how big that one is. They're tiny, they take up no space, and it's just so nice to be able to, well, either A, dry off if you're gonna like go swimming somewhere or something like that, or if you want to dip it in water and try and get a little bit cleaned up. This one's a little bit smaller. Just any like mini microfiber towel that's quick dry. It's like kind of a convenience item, but I think I always really appreciate having them. Now, I'm not gonna talk about like what pack I use because it just varies so widely based on how long I'm gonna be gone or what activities we're doing, but this little thing always comes with me. This is an Osprey collapsible day pack. And so it fits in this little tiny thing. So if you're doing like a summit trip, or if you know, there's an Alpine lake you want to get to and it's a couple miles from your camp, put a clip of it with stuff in it so you can see, but it's got a water bottle holder, and it's got tons of space. It's 18 liters. I mean, I can't imagine anything that you wouldn't be able to fit in here for a day trip. So that always goes with me on trips, and then it lives in my car when I'm not hiking so that I can like use it for groceries or whatever. It's just like such a nice little compact thing, and pretty much every pack, I mean, there's tons of different options, but I love Osprey everything. So next up is a trowel, and I lost mine, so I don't have one to show you physically, but I'll put a picture of it up. And this is so nice for digging little cat holes, and this one's just really sturdy, and I've always really liked it. And along with that, so this is, they're porta wipes. This is what I keep filled, and I keep this part in my backpack and then refill it from this bag, but you can buy them as like a set. And basically wet wipes, but they're not hydrated. And so they're really compact, and you just add water. So like I said, I usually take this one with me, and they get big. I'll put one in water and show it on video. But I love these. I mean, they're kind of a novelty, but I think they're really fun and super useful. Finally, in my nice to haves is a seat. I oftentimes don't even unpack it. I just sit on it like that. It's got the silver side, which you're supposed to have up if it's cold out and you're trying to like bounce heat back up at you, and then the blue side, so when it's hot you'd have that side up. But it's super light, and I just put it in one of my backpacks water bottle holders. It's super easy to just grab out without even having to take my backpack off. And the last thing in my nice to have category is a sleeping bag liner, and I went with 100% silk. There's a ton of reasons why I love this. It can provide a little bit of extra warmth in your bag, especially depending on which one you choose. It keeps your sleeping bag much cleaner, and it's a whole lot easier. I mean, you could go and rinse this off in some water and then have a clean, basically a clean sleeping bag. So if you're, you know, after a long day of hiking, you just want to get in your bag, you get into this thing, and even if this gets dirty, your sleeping bag is still safe and clean, and this can just get rinsed off, and you can hang it from your pack to dry if you string it up right. It's also just really comfortable. The material of sleeping bags always has bothered me. It just feels sticky no matter how clean I am, and this being silk is always so comfortable. So this is kind of a splurge, like the 100% silk one. There are other options, but I have always really appreciated having this. I get so much better sleep between this and my pillow, so I think it's totally worth it. Before I go on to the last two categories, I want to shout out Blue Alpine freeze dryers. My affiliation with them makes all my content possible. I love Blue Alpine because they come in lots of really cool colors. They're made in Idaho. Their customer service is unbelievable, and they use universal trays, which is super nice. So you can just find replacements so easy anywhere. Being able to make our own backpacking meals saves us a ton of money. Of course, it's a big initial investment, but so worth it. You get to know exactly what you're eating. You can customize it to exactly what you want, and there's just a billion uses for freeze dryers. I mean, I'm constantly finding new things to do with it, and it's so fun. Use my code to get a discount on their website. Now, earlier I talked about the merino wool shirts I get from First Light, but I also wear the merino wool bras from Brawin. I'm actually wearing one right now. This is the sports bra style, and then I have the bralette, and they're so comfortable. Again, same as the shirts. They don't stink, they're quick dry, and they're so comfortable. I will say that the coverage in the bralette is not great, which I don't care about when I'm backpacking. If you're gonna wear them other times, I just use the cakes inserts. The sports bra style from Brawin, you can get inserts that they make to go in it if you're worried about the coverage for while you're hiking. This and the merino wool shirts, that's kind of my go-to. Next up for women is the pea funnel. This is a really simple style, and I, full disclosure, don't really use this anymore, but when I wanted to use a pea funnel, I tried a bunch of different kinds and this was my favorite one. They're super affordable and it's impossible to mess up. And I was using these a ton when I was rock climbing because you could use this one without taking your harness off, which was so nice. It eliminates the need for wiping if you don't, because the way it's designed, you can kind of just scrape it, which is a weird thing to say. But this is like just the most easy to pack, affordable, and practical to use style that I found. I would just keep this wrapped in a bandana, which that was the only thing this bandana was for, obviously, and I would keep that next to my seating pad so that I could grab either of those things without taking my pack off. And then the final thing is a menstrual cup. Now, I use these 100% of the time anyway, but especially in the backcountry, you're not going to be wanting to pack out pads and tampons, which you can't leave them out there. You can't bury them. It's something that if you packed it in, you need to pack it out, and I didn't want to do that. The menstrual cup eliminates the need for any of that. You're able to keep it extremely clean out there. You can just rinse it off and you can use biodegradable soap with it. That was what I found to be the most effective for me in the backcountry without having to pack anything out. All right, the final category is all of my novelty items. These are things that are really fun and I think they're useful. They're really great gifts and I try to bring these along any chance that I can. First thing is my Rumple koozie. So these are little teeny, so they just unpack like this. And if you're one of the types of people like I am where you're gonna pack a Summit beer or something like that, these are just so cute. They come in I bought a variety pack, and so there's a bunch of different colors. You can buy singles too, though, I'm pretty sure, and there's camouflage and all these different colors. I love koozies anyway, and so to have one specifically that can travel like this, I love. Next up is this string light source. So it's got this little tab here with a hook on it, and you can pull out, I mean, just an insane, it goes forever. And when you hit the power button, we got that one, we got this one flashing, we got the solid color, and then back to the white with this lit up, or these off and just this lit up. This is magnetic, and I actually, when I'm not hiking, here, let me turn this off. I actually keep this attached to my fridge just because it's a nice little, if you needed a flashlight for some reason, you can just grab this and, you know, cycle through to that mode. And to wrap it up, it's got this handy little tab and you can just spin it. It doesn't tangle, it just sucks right back up in there, and it's all compact in this little pod. So I love that. It's kind of silly and kind of extra, but I think it's so cute. I like having it around the house anyway, aside from backpacking. But if you're car camping especially, I think these are really fun. My kids really like this too. Next up is a tiny little saw. This is so convenient for if you're trying to cut firewood, because you're just gonna, you know, get it around whatever you're cutting and just back and forth. And it saws through logs so you can get stuff down to the appropriate size for your fire, or if you need to carry it or whatever. It gets so small. It's a really good gift, and especially if you're car camping, this is handy to have. It also has these two little handles on it so you can get a good grip on it. If you're going somewhere where you can catch fish, this one's an entire fold out little grill. The top screws on and out comes all your pieces. And I'll show a video of it set up so you can see. But this is so handy. It's you're not needing to worry about how you're gonna cook whatever size fish on it. Kids love to see fish on this thing. So I think it's really cool. Again, it is extra weight, but it's so like just unique and silly and fun. Okay, and then the next two things are Nalgene accessories. These are little, they're called easy sippers. You take it and you just put it right, they fit right in the mouth of your Nalgene, and so when you're drinking, you're not gonna like splash your face or whatever, just the smaller little spout. And then I also got this silicone. These are more of like a hard plastic. This is a silicone one. They work exactly the same, so you could just pick a style that you like. I kind of prefer the silicone one just because I think it's cute and bright, and it has a little tab that you can pull it out. Doesn't matter, but I just like that one. I think it's cute. And then my next Nalgene accessory is, well, to preface this, I hate water bladders. I don't know why I have the worst luck. I'm so careful every time I try to use them and they spill, but I really like having the water straw. And so this, it has the straw, these pieces, you screw it on, and this can be just in your side pocket, and you can thread this the same as you would, you know, from either side, and you can have it hooked just like if you were drinking from a bladder in your backpack. So if you hate bladders and you carry Nalgene's, I just think they're so cool. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for sticking with it. I hope you found some things that you thought were interesting. Everything's gonna be linked in the description. And coming up soon, I'm gonna have my comprehensive packing list, as well as that Katadyn water filter comparison between the two styles. So don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in content like that. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.